everybody, and welcome to another brand new episode of the Top 10 Show. I am John Rocha.
And I am Matt Knost, and thank you for bearing with us as we took a week off last week. I wasn't feeling well, and then we turned around and had New Year's on top of that.
Yeah.
And trying to schedule and get it in, it seemed like a lot. Plus, you had just gotten back in town, so I'm sure you had a backlog of stuff to catch up on.
Yes, still do.
Yeah, it was like the perfect storm of, we've never taken a week off.
In 6 years.
Yeah, so let's take 1 week off unannounced, but
yeah.
So we're back doing another show. We're going to do the patron topic that we intended on releasing last week, so we'll do that this week. So it's a little late considering it's a New Year's topic, but we hope you enjoy it nonetheless.
Yeah.
How was your New Year's?
It was good. It was good. I mean, just very chill. We like you said, we had gotten back into town around the 28th, and then took us a couple of days to kind of shake off the jet lag, and then just decided to hang out at the house. We didn't want to go anywhere with the surges and the Omicron and all that shit happening, so we just hung out. I made us stay up, and as I mentioned or I will future mention in another show, we've become obsessed with this show, The Challenge, on Paramount Plus, and so we just spent the night watching that show up until midnight, watched the ball drop on ABC, and then calmly went to bed a few minutes later. So
was that the Miley show?
I don't know. No, it was just Ryan saying the ball's dropping. We literally turned it on at like 12 or 11:59 or 11:58. So we didn't see any of that stuff. No, I don't care about those shows. I don't give a fuck about performances. I don't need to watch any of that nonsense. So it's just not for me anymore. So just want to watch the ball drop so we could officially celebrate it together. Give each other a kiss, a couple drinks, and it was a nice time, and then right on off to bed and picked it up in 2022. But yeah, how about yours?
I mean, New Year's is nothing anymore. Well, I don't drink. She doesn't really drink all that much.
Right.
She'll have a glass of wine once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
And to me, it's a young man's holiday.
Yes.
Young person's holiday.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I walked out on my deck at midnight, and people were firing off fireworks in the neighborhood. So I watched the fireworks for like 5 minutes. It was cold. And then I went back inside. I mean, I wasn't feeling 100% anyway. So I just stood out there and was like, oh, hey, New Year's, hey, Happy New Year. And then I walked back in. Some people were yelling Happy New Year and banging pots and all that jazz. But
wow.
Yeah, it was just the normal. It's roughly what I did last year and the year before and the year before that. And it's been a long time since I really gave a shit about New Year's. After a while, it just always got so underwhelming. You build it up. We got to do something for New Year's. We got to do something amazing. And then every time it's like, hey, it's the same.
Yeah. In the end.
I'm drinking just like I was the night before. How is this any different? And we're just paying 5 times the sum to do it.
That's a good point, because everybody's out doing it.
Yeah, and you're paying to get into some bar or restaurant or whatever, and exorbitant prices, and just like, this is stupid.
Yeah, and you're hoping, that it's momentous, that it's a commemorative thing, and that you move on. But like from last year into this year, I mean, people are like trepid. People are cautiously optimistic about 2022, but like, there's that PTSD from 2020 and 2021 that people are suffering through now. And so that's another reason why I felt like it was a bit of a muted celebration, to be honest with you. And I was shocked. Like, we were watching the ball drop. I didn't know there were so many. I didn't know they were going to still do the New York thing where people are out there in the streets, some wearing masks, some not wearing masks. I thought that was crazy to have an event when they're canceling shit all over the place, to have an event where people are out there like acting the fool, especially in New York. When the cases are spiking like crazy, it just didn't make sense to me to have a situation like that. I thought it was a bad look, in my opinion.
I had read that they were just limiting the number that could be in Times Square to like 3,000 people or something. I don't know if that's the case.
There's a lot of people when I saw it. They were all like literally on top of each other by the guardrails and what have you. So to me, they may have limited it, but didn't mean that people weren't there acting the fool. And so, had the weird.
Undoubtedly. Yeah. I don't know. There's just quite a few people that are sick of it all and don't care anymore.
Yeah. I just want to kind of, hope that something is. Yeah, I guess.
Well, it's like a live and let die situation
right.
at this point for quite a few people that I personally know. Just like, I'm done. I don't.
Right.
Like, all right. previously they were pro max and all that, or
Yeah.
mask rather, and now it's just like, you know what? If I die, I die. I don't care anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like, all right. I don't know. The last thinking I saw is that because Omicron spread so quickly, we might be able to get to herd immunity because of that fact.
Yeah. Certainly, it's more transmissible, but it's less deadly, is what they keep saying. So, and a lot of people are coming to terms with the fact that they're going to get it and they're just going to get past it and come out the other side. So, no big deal. No big deal, to be honest.
Yeah, no big deal until hospitals are overwhelmed and people can't get any kind of elective surgery, or their cancer doesn't get diagnosed now for another year, and it went from stage 2 to stage 4, and just like, okay, well, there is a downside to this live and let die attitude, but I can't. I
think you can have it in the overly vaccinated, like in the vaccinated areas. I think you can have that live or let die attitude, because odds are you're probably just going to get the mild symptoms. But in the unvaccinated areas, in the areas where people are like, hardcore against anti-vax or a hardcore anti-vaccination, I think that's where you're running the big danger of the overflowing hospitals and people not getting diagnosed and whatever. It becomes maddening, So,
yeah. I don't know. 2 years into this, and still sucks.
Well, I'm starting to see some obviously Rogan, he's doing his thing for his attention, but I'm starting to see more and more celebrities start to kind of make the turn. Like, I follow Michelle Wolf on Instagram, and she's now starting to come out with some kind of anti-COVID or anti-vax type of feelings, saying that the government is trying to keep them in. And I'm like, please stop. Please fucking just stop. Just tell the jokes, man. Stop it. Like this kind of stuff, I just kind of go, it's kind of dangerous. People say, oh, I did my own research. What fucking research? You can't even balance your fucking checkbook. What research are you fucking doing? Like, give me a break.
Yeah. Why are you balancing a checkbook? That's my question.
Fair enough.
When was the last time you actually balanced your checkbook? It's been 20 years for me, and I hated doing it then.
Fine. You have a problem putting the Costco card inside the slot and keeping it there. Thinking out how quick.
There you go, sure.
But then you're going to tell me that you fucking done your own research. I just find that to be comical beyond comical.
Yeah. Trust me. I feel the exact same way. I know quite a few, people that I've known for a long time who have gone off the deep end in the past 2 years. And,
it's a shame.
It is a shame. It is a shame. Hopefully they return, back from the deep end and back to the shallow with the rest of us.
In the shallow.
Exactly. But I don't know. I'm at this point, it's become so overwhelming that I don't judge anymore. I don't. It's just like, all right, fine. The pervasive culture is, at this point, you either are or are not.
Yeah.
And I don't have the mental space to do this anymore.
That's my reaction now. And I'm with you, Matt. And like, I go, that's a shame. It's a shame. I don't get upset. I don't get all frustrated. I just get more like, it's a shame. Another one pushing, obviously hit their limit and just now going to use their platform to push this kind of nonsense. And just like, okay, fine. I guess you're going to do that. Knock yourself out. It's your right. It's your platform. Say what you want to say. I just think it's.
Yeah. Do whatever you want. Ridiculous. And then there are people whose stances I agree with. And they're so, if you don't do it their way, you're doing it wrong. And you're like, well, how is that leading to a healthy conversation? You're not helping this situation. Well, I'm right. Even if you are.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Yeah. It's crazy out there right now.
Yeah, it is. But
yeah.
Moving on. Onwards, upwards. 22 is going to be the year.
This is the year.
This is going to be the year. Dude.
Oh my God. Yeah.
We are getting laid so much in 22.
Yeah. What? We're getting laid? Is that what you said?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Chicks are going to be out.
Chicks. Okay.
Yep. You and me, buddy. We're going to be out prowling.
Don't put me in this. No.
I'm pretty sure you're out there.
I'm quite happy.
Patting around with me. It's fine. I talked to my wife. She's cool with it.
You leave me out of that one, man.
Dude, it's 22. No inhibitions, bro. It's a whole new world.
Let it all hang, bro.
It's a whole new world. Can't wait, man. 22. It's everything's on the up and up in 22. All the movies that keep getting delayed now again. That slate next year is going to be amazing.
Yeah, agreed.
Isn't there a Scream reboot that's
Yes.
coming? And people are
Yes.
now like, should they delay it? And
I've
it's
got the screening for it on Monday night. If it's still happening, if they're still releasing it or
I think they're at this point they're too locked in, but they
Yeah.
want to, is what I read. The producers would like to hold off, but they
Really?
can't at this
No.
point.
Well, it's coming out in January, which is not a good sign. So
Oh, of course.
I'm worried about it on Monday night. I'm worried if I'm going to enjoy it or not. So I've got my ideas about it. We shall see.
Yeah, I never know how any of those horror movies are going to do.
Right.
So, is there a big fan, group or whatnot that was clamoring for a sequel to this, or is it a reboot?
No, it's a new installment because they're bringing back Courtney Cox and
Is Nev Campbell coming back?
Nev Campbell's coming back, and so is David Arquette. So they're the only three that they've announced. And who knows if the killer is somebody from the past, but it's those three that they've announced that are going to come back for this one. And it's apparently a serial killer that is hunting down other serial killers, and I think they're relatives. So that's I just did three videos for Crypt TV because I do the voiceover for some of their horror stuff, and the stuff they sent me were some of the things from the movie, and one of those I think said where the motive of this particular killer for Scream is going after the relatives of the previous killers in the Scream movies. So interesting stuff. So who knows what that's going to lead to, but yeah.
No idea. How many Screams have there been at this point?
I think this is the 6th one.
Jesus Christ.
I think there's been a 5, or maybe it's the 4th one. I don't
fucking blood from a stone.
I don't want to get these Scream people mad at me. Let's see. Scream 4 came out in 2011. There's been obviously Scream 1, Scream 2, Scream 3, Scream 4. I don't see a Scream 5, so maybe only 4 Scream movies, and this is the 5th one. There has been Scream, the TV series, which came out in 2015. And there was
Didn't know that existed.
Yeah. And there was a show called Scream Queens, which I don't think it was part
of.
Yeah,
I remember when that came out, but I didn't think that had anything to do with the Scream movie. I thought it was more about, horror in general.
Right. Yeah, where is it? Yeah, 96 is Scream, 97 Scream 2, 2000, 2004, and then 2022. So yeah, this is the 5th installment in the Scream franchise, coming out 11 years later. So there you go.
Good luck. I hope people enjoy it. I will not be seeing it because I don't really give a shit, but I don't really go in for horror, so that's unsurprising.
It's not your bag.
It's just not. Scream 2 was the last one I saw. I didn't see Scream 3 or 4 or the TV show, which I didn't know existed until you said it 2 seconds ago.
I think I've only seen I think I've seen more of the Scary Movie franchise than I've seen the Scream franchise. I think I've seen more of those.
Okay.
Which I enjoyed.
Shit, there's probably been more of those at this point than there have been Screams.
Yeah.
There's been, what, like 6 Scary Movies?
Yeah. Let me see here. Scary Movie franchise? Let's see here. I think there have been a few of those.
Oh, there's been a bunch of those. I would assume
6 even.
Yes, 6 was my guess. 6 or 7, but 6 is my guess.
Let's see. Because that was what? Anna Faris. How many of those was she around for?
You're asking the wrong person.
Fair enough. Yeah, there's only been 5 of them. So.
Oh, there's only been 5?
Yeah, only 5. The last one was in 2013. So I imagine they're probably working on one to react to this one. So.
Oh, yeah, it's got it. Well, it's always that plus any other teen movie and horror teen movie that came out since the last one that they could spoof.
Yeah.
But then the spoof genre, whatever, Meet the Spartans, it just became this weird, we're cobbling together all big movies and creating some weird hybridized, quote unquote comedy.
This is crazy how much this franchise has made. It's made $896 million at the box office with a total budget for all 5 films of $177 million.
Yeah, sounds all right.
The first movie made $278 million, if you can believe that. $278 million fucking dollars. Good God Almighty!
And that one had the lowest budget. more
Yeah,
than likely.
probably. Yeah, because nobody knew who fuck Anna Faris was.
Yeah. I mean, didn't it have one of the Wayans brothers? Maybe Marlon?
Yes, Sean
Sean.
Wayans. And then aren't they the directors?
Could have been on the first.
Keenan directed the first one and the second one. Keenan Ivory Wayans. And Sean and Marlon were writers on the first one. Craig and Sean and Marlon were some of the writers on the second one. And then it went to Zucker for Scary Movie 3 and 4 with Jim Abrams. And then Malcolm D. Lee did the fifth one. So, and it was the first in the franchise to not feature Anna Faris and Regina Hall. Still made $72 million in the box office worldwide.
Yeah, that's amazing. Good for them.
Good for you. Scary Movie 4 made $178 million. Dude, what the fuck? Who's going to see these movies?
Matt, idiot kids.
Matt, who's going to see it?
People that haven't seen enough movies to know what movies potentially could be good and what aren't.
Here are the people. Bill Pullman has been in a Scary Movie. Craig Bierko, George Carlin, Queen Latifah, Eddie Griffin, Tim Curry, James Woods. These are like good actors. Leslie Nielsen, of course. Charlie Sheen, of course. Anthony Anderson. Chris Elliott.
Yeah, I mean, most of those names, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. It's like that's Bierko before Cinderella Man and
right
getting other things. But at the same time, Bierko did Three Stooges after all that.
Oh, that's right. Him and what's her face? Yeah, from Gloria from fucking Modern Family, right? Sofia Vergara, that's her name. Yeah. Craziness. Anyway, let's get into the list, man. We've done enough kibitzing, for lack of a better term. Anything you want to say sports-wise? Anything you want to touch on sports-wise? Anything bothering you about
I won my fantasy league, so champion.
Congratulations.
Champion once again. Thank you very much.
Nice.
Got the nice payday, but more importantly, got my name on the trophy for the third time. So that's all that matters, baby. That's all that matters.
Is this the Comedy Store one?
Yeah. I'm now 3-6 in the championship. So
wow.
Not bad. Yeah. I made the championship 6 times in 11 years, 10 years, 11 years.
Respect, man.
Thank you.
Okay.
But I intentionally sabotaged the last week of the season so that I could get the more advantageous matchup in round 1.
So you purposely
did what I could without adding or dropping players on my team to give myself the best chance to lose.
You pulled a Mike Tomlin. You rested your best players.
Listen, I did. Well, I subbed in Jarvis Landry when he was on the COVID list right before kickoff because I didn't want the other guy. Because basically, whoever won this game became the number 1 overall seed.
Right.
And I wanted to play who was currently in the 3rd seed because his team had been destroyed by COVID.
Oh my God.
And injuries. He was a shell of himself. And so I was like, well, if I get him in round 1.
Yeah.
And it also the other dude that I was fighting with, number 1 overall, he had the strongest team left. I didn't have the best team.
Gotcha.
I'm not saying it. I had a good team, but I didn't have the strongest team.
Right.
And then he had a bad week in the first round of the playoffs, and then I took the championship.
That
baby.
really set you up. Right on, man.
Yeah. Well, do what you can, but a win is a win is a win.
Wait, hold on a sec. So you're saying the other team the team that was the number 1 seed was the best team, but it got knocked out in the first round?
First round of the playoffs because he had like 3 of his starters end up on COVID lists.
Oh, devastation.
Yeah. And he still ended up only losing by like 10 points.
Wow. Yeah.
He had a good team.
I played an 8. I won 2 of them. I got 3rd place.
8? Jesus.
Yeah, I'd love to play fantasy shit. In basketball and football, I will play up to 8 leagues. but yeah, I won 2 of them. I got 3rd place in another 2, and then the other ones I didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Or if I did, I got knocked out and I'm in the consolation type thing, you know. But no, because only the top 4 teams made the playoffs. So yeah, only 4 of my leagues I went to the playoffs, and the other leagues I got the consolation shit. But I tell you this, Aaron St. Brown saved my ass in those 2 leagues I won. Like picking him up randomly, he was sitting there on the
nobody wanted him.
Yeah, nobody wanted him, and I was looking for a receiver because, like you, I had Jarvis on one of my teams, and I had somebody else on one of my Hopkins, who went down with the AIR. So I was like, I gotta find somebody. Maybe there's a Jets receiver rolling around who's doing well or whatever. And then I saw this guy on the Lions, and I'm like, this is some good fucking numbers the last 3 weeks. So I'm like, fuck it.
I didn't pick him up because it's Jared Goff.
Right. That's what I was thinking. He's not gonna get the ball. And then
well, even if he does, it's gonna be like one good game, and then it's gonna be 3 games of shit. It's Jared Goff.
Yeah. But that kid put up 15 to 16 points every week, and I was like, this is fantastic. And in one of them, I got the Jamar Chase game, the 50-point game, which was insane, dude.
Such a great season. Such a great season.
What do you think? You think the Bengals? Do you think the Bengals are going to Super? Like, do you think? I mean, they fucking mollywopped the Chiefs, man. They put the Chiefs on notice, dude.
I've never heard the term mollywopped.
Really? Okay.
No, it feels like some holdover the anti-Irish slur from 1850. It does. It sounds like patty whacked. Mollywopped him. Like Molly's another way to call an Irish person Irish.
It's to strike, slap, or slam into one, either once or repeatedly, to wallop one. There we go.
I'm not saying it wasn't accurate. I'm just saying I've never heard of it. It just sounds like some.
I'm looking for the genesis of this because I hope I'm not saying some slang.
Yeah, but at the same time, like a patty whacked, do you really feel bad? It started as one thing, doesn't mean it is that now.
That's true, but I just don't want LeBron tweeting at me about it.
Well, it might happen nonetheless. I mean, you are a Wizards fan.
That's true.
So he could attack you.
I gotta find this Mollywop Genesis. I gotta look this up because there's gotta be something. There's gotta be some kind of I don't know. It doesn't say. Anyway, all right.
Who you got? 2 championships, not too shabby. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's fine. But when you play 8, though, it doesn't really mean that much. If I played 1 league and won it, there's a lot more effort involved in that, So I think because every decision carries extra significance.
Well, it's more so because I know all these people and we're talking shit to each other.
Oh, I'm sure.
So
I'm sure.
Yeah. The guy that ended up first, we have a group thread and was talking tons of shit, and everybody was like, whatever, as long as anybody else wins. And then as soon as I won, the text thread was all celebrating the fact that he didn't win.
Yeah.
It wasn't congratulations. It was, hey, fuck you. So yeah, it carries more. It's the only one. I've done numerous before. I've never done 8 though, man. That's a lot for me, at least.
Oh yeah, no, fair. Yeah, but those are the only 2 I play is the NBA and the NFL. It's just fun for me. It keeps me abreast of the players, so it's kind of like kind of checks both boxes there.
Yeah, you definitely learn.
Yeah,
numerous players. I had one friend that started doing it just so he could have conversations about football with his friends because he doesn't watch football.
Oh yeah,
and then he was like, "Yeah, you end up kind of learning," and I was like, "Yeah, you learn about at least a couple players on every team. So if a game is on, you have some sort of rooting interest."
Oh yeah, totally. Okay, here we go. Mollywop is believed to have had its inception during the 1980s, somewhere around the San Francisco Bay Area. The term is still popular in that area. Locals have used the term frequently. That is now popular slang in the Bay Area. The term was so popular that it was used in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, where it was used in an episode to indicate an impending brutal fight between 2 individuals.
Okay.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Thank God it's not a racist term. All right. Let's move on.
Yeah, but that doesn't say where it came from. You know what I mean?
I guess you're right. What do you got? Who do you got in the finals, man? Who do you got right now in the Super Bowl? Do you get any thoughts on that?
I don't. Who the hell knows?
Yeah. This has been one of those rare years where it really looks like anybody could be in there against anybody.
Yeah, I literally have no idea. I mean, technically right now in the NFC, I guess Green Bay. But their defense, if you've got a run attack, I think you could take them down.
It could be Tennessee and the Saints.
It could be.
My
The
God,
Saints, then no, the Saints got no shot.
come on. You just
They
never
got
know.
no shot. Tennessee, yeah, they've managed to string together wins where I thought that they might have faltered a little bit, and then Derrick Henry's going to be activated this weekend. Whether or not he
Oh,
plays is
that's
another,
right. True. Yeah.
but get him a little bit of. What's crazy is he hasn't played since Halloween. He's still 5th in rushing, I believe.
That's nuts.
That is nuts.
fucking
It's
nuts.
nuts. That's how good that guy is.
But yeah, I mean, Tennessee is the number 1 seed. If they win, I think they're playing the Jaguars, then they're set. So getting Derrick Henry an extra week of rest before you have to play. Oh my God. Good night.
Yeah, it's huge, especially if you can just get him in to have some meaningless downs, but
Yeah. Yeah.
run a little bit. Don't take much heavy contact.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. AFC to me is a big fat question. They're both question marks, but I would assume the Packers.
I don't
which
trust, but they're going to choke.
They
They're
very
gonna
well could. I hope they do. I'd love
Yeah.
nothing more than seeing the Packers lose.
Me too. Now with Aaron Rodgers and the shit he pulled this year, yes, I wanted to choke the fuck on out of the
Well,
playoffs.
that's just that's
Yeah.
more fuel on the fire of me not liking the Packers and be like. But I just love the fact that he wanted out, and they're the best team in the NFC.
I could see the
That-
Eagles going on a fucking run here, man. I'm not even
Maybe.
joking.
It's
I'm not
entirely
even joking.
possible.
Yeah.
I believe in that more than I do the Saints.
Yeah, fair. I mean, because the Packers, I think, are going to choke out. The Rams look suspect now because Stafford is looking like crap the last 3 weeks. The Buccaneers just lost AB with that insane situation, and
Yeah, now he's having surgery. He's done. Godwin's
done.
out for the season.
right.
Evans is banged up. Gronkowski's, of course, banged up. Like,
Their
yeah, there's-
defense just gave up 250 yards of
Yeah.
rushing to the
I think
Jets.
Tampa Bay's done.
Yeah. The Cowboys don't look exciting. Kyler Murray looks suspect all of a sudden for Arizona. I
Yeah,
can't
San
believe the
Francisco's
49ers.
no threat.
How are they 9-7? I'm fucking insane that the 49ers are 9-7.
I don't know.
All right.
But you want to jump into today's show because we're
Yeah,
at
let's do
almost
it.
a half hour.
Oh, sorry. Let's jump into it. Yeah, we're talking
Nah,
about top 10 New Year's Eve scenes in movies, and this is brought to you by one of our patrons, our Boss Hog patrons. Who is it, Matt?
This comes from Drew Ensz. So thank you, Drew, for
thank you, Drew.
sending us in this excellent topic. Hopefully the delay makes it all that much better.
Yeah.
But yeah, he sent in the topic and we were like, that sounds like fun. And we were going to do it. So it's our favorite New Year's Eve scenes in movies. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. All right, let's jump into it. And Matt, how does the show work?
Once we set a topic, we go our individual ways and create personal top 10 lists. Show back up here. I do my bottom 3. He does his bottom 3. I do my next 2. He does his next 2. Then we trade one apiece. Once we have revealed our personal top 10 list, we create the shows between the two of us.
Boom. Let's
At
do it.
10, I've got Forrest Gump.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, good choice. Go ahead. I didn't put that on my list. Nice.
Not on your list. It's a nice bonding moment between Gump and Lieutenant Dan.
Yes.
Especially when they go back to the apartment and the girls are disrespectful to him.
Mhm.
And you can see basically the friendship has blossomed beyond this begrudging camaraderie from the fact that they used to serve together and they're kind of stuck together.
Yeah.
And it builds from there. So much so that eventually, they go on the fishing boat and they
Yeah.
have a friendship that blossoms. But it kind of, somewhat starts in that moment where they stand shoulder to shoulder in the face of this indignity. But I think Gary Sinise being depressed in the middle of New Year's, I've had many a New Year's like that where everybody else seems really happy and celebrating him. I'm like, ugh, I got nothing. You know what I mean? I got nobody to kiss right now. I got last year sucked. This year looks like it's going to suck. It's just like, oh, whatever. It was a bad New Year's.
Yeah.
So it just him being a wet cat at that bar has always stuck with me. It's something identifiable to me of, I've had New Year's like that for sure. I think most people have, if they're being honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, I chose it for that.
Yeah, I like it. It's a good choice. I mean, it's that moment it's that spot in the movie where you're like, okay, where are we going next? And you see the bitterness and the frustration and the anger of Lieutenant Dan. And so in Gary Sinise getting a chance to shine in a role like this and in that moment, and then you're seeing Forrest trying to think the best of the situation, always in these weird spots with these people and trying to see the best of the situation, see the best of them, but also incredibly uncomfortable in all of that, and especially with the unwanted advances from the girls, because he's all about Jenny. So yeah, it's an interesting scene for sure that shows you that the film is about to go into a darker place for a bit, and there are some darker moments certainly with Gary Sinise and his Lieutenant Dan, which is why that all of that leading to that moment in the thunderstorm is so fantastic, man. That is on the boat. Such a great fucking sequence. I know people bash that movie, but fuck that. I like that movie. I will defend that movie.
It's all right to me.
All right.
It's just appreciated over time. Overall, like I loved it in the theater.
Yeah, right. Of course.
And for the next few years after that. And then ever since then, I'm like, it's good. It's not, the end all be all to me, but I know some people, it's one of their, if not their favorite movie of all time.
Yeah. Some people really.
Yeah.
It's true.
To each their own.
Fair enough. All right. What's your 9?
My number 9 is The Apartment.
Oh, go ahead. I've still never seen The Apartment. So go ahead, my man.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's one of those ones. It's kind of, blind spots that I have in my classics repertoire. So please go ahead.
Oh, it's a nice, sweet ending. So Jack Lemmon plays basically like a young guy on the come up at a company, and his boss wants to have a dalliance with, I believe it's Shirley MacLaine.
Yeah.
And they want to use Jack Lemmon's apartment for their rendezvous. And he agrees to it because it could give him basically a leg up in moving up the corporate ladder type of thing. And he's a nice guy about it, but he ends up having a bond with Shirley MacLaine and doesn't care for the way that she's treated. And ultimately it's at New Year's, and it's the culmination of the movie, and it's her rejecting the situation that she's in of like, listen, I'm the side woman of, I'm the adulteress here type of, and it's her and Jack Lemmon coming together on New Year's. And it's a nice way to end it, because otherwise you're watching it going, I'm not sure how they end this other than the two of them kind of get together.
Yeah.
But it's because of the pivotal nature of it happening on New Year's, and I'm a sucker for Jack Lemmon pretty much always.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would love to have grown up with Jack Lemmon as my, movie star type of one of the guys to go out. He just always seems so likable and enjoyable. And he's one of the ones where I think you can go back for the majority of his movies that I think they really hold up.
Yeah.
Like Some Like It Hot.
That's
still really good.
Oh yeah.
Still really good. Where there are quite a few black and white movies with the pacing, the editing and whatnot. It's tougher for a modern audience to kind of delve into. But I would recommend The Apartment.
Okay. Yeah, I know it won Best Picture, I think, in 1960. So yeah,
I believe you're right. Yeah.
And I think Billy Wilder's the director. So certainly classic stamps all over that thing. So yeah, I should definitely watch it at some point. Maybe, maybe create some space to start doing that for sure. All right. So then what's your number 8?
When you come back on the seniors tour for Schmodown, they might have a seniors tour section of movies, and it would seem like this would be right in the wheelhouse of that.
You son of a bitch. I'm never coming back. I'm done. Done.
Oh, by the way, if the Bears win this weekend, you owe me $5.
Oh no.
Yep.
Did that happen?
They're 6-10 right now. I said 7-10. You're like $5. All right, no problem. They're not going to be 7-10. So
y'all playing the Vikings? Nah, forget it.
God, I think we got a shot.
You're at Minnesota.
I know.
But they just put Justin Fields on the COVID list.
Yeah, but Minnesota looks frustrated, and I'm not sure what they're playing for. So I could see them just being dejected and not giving a shit. I'm just saying, you might owe me $5.
Fine, put it on my tab.
Hey, come on, you could Venmo me $5.
I think I could Venmo you $5. Aren't you glowing enough from your victory of your fantasy football? You want $5 from me?
Yes, we made a bet. A bet is a bet is a bet. It's $5. It's not like it's high stakes.
They're actually still charging like $300 to. Oh no, there's actually a $96 ticket available on the sideline as a Chicago Bears in Minnesota. I could fly into Minnesota and watch the game for $96. Not too bad. Not too bad.
Yeah, that's a surprisingly cheap ticket.
That's like right on the 50-yard line almost too.
Yeah.
All right, so fine, I'll owe you $5 if they tell. So now I've got something to cheer for in that game. All right, let's go Kirk Cousins. I haven't said that in a long time. All right, what's your number?
Well,
what's your
hopefully he let you down like he did so many times in the past.
So true.
Yep.
That guy, no one has made more money in the NFL being as mediocre as that son of a bitch is as Kirk Cousins.
That's the thing, though. Every once again, he shows flashes, and you're like, this dude is decent.
You know they win that game if he plays last week. But
More than
fucking
likely.
stupid ass finally got bit by that COVID anti-vaccination stance, and he cost his team at a critical fucking game.
Yep, and
It
they're
cost
gonna
his team, dude. Yeah.
miss out on the playoffs because of it.
Yep. So was it worth it, Kurt? Fucking stupid, man. Absolutely stupid.
Don't think he cares at this point.
Yeah, probably not. Anyway, all right. Yeah, because who did they lose to? It was a fucking it was the Packers. They'd have played a better game against the Packers for sure. For sure. The Packers were there to be beat by the fuck did they almost get beat by the other day? The Cardinals, right? Or the Browns. The Browns had them dead to rights. If Stefanski doesn't do that stupid, or Kitchen, or what is it? Stefanski doesn't do that stupid shit of not giving the ball to Chubb, they win that fucking game. So even with 4 interceptions from Baker. Anyway, all right. What's your number?
The Browns, though.
Yeah, it's true.
8, I've got Trading Places.
Ooh, where is that on my list? I think that's a punt. It is a punt. Yes.
Okay.
Big time punt. All right.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
So then my number 10 is While You Were Sleeping.
All right, go for it.
I love this movie. It's one of those Sandra Bullock vehicles that really fucking works, because this is peak Sandra Bullock at this romantic comedy nadir. She's at the peak of it, of the genre. And this is a fun film, a really sweet film, a charming film. And in the New Year's Eve scene, everything is coming to a head, right? She's gotten to know Peter Gallagher's family, and Jack is starting to have feelings for her, Bill Pullman. And this New Year's Eve night, it's just kind of a weird night for her. And the landlord's son, who has kind of hit on her a few times, he shows up with some a horseshoe of a wreath or something like that. And she's happy to see him, but then he asks her if she's wearing a black bra. Just when that moment we could be nice to her, he fucking goes sexist. She slaps him in the back of the head, takes off to this New Year's Eve party. Then Jack, who is Bill Pullman's character, confronts her out in the street saying, hey, because his teenage sister spread some rumor that she might be pregnant, that Sandra Bullock's character might be pregnant with Peter Gallagher's child. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, we know in real life they never have any relationship at all. He's been in the coma. She just had a crush on him. So he takes it upon himself to be like, well, I'll marry you. I'll do the right thing if you're pregnant. And she's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Leave me alone. Goes to a New Year's Eve, and he follows her to the New Year's Eve party. And then he loudly tells her, like, you need to stop drinking because you're pregnant. Like, the arrogance of this guy. And she fucking blows his spot up right there in front of the party. And she says to him, if this is how you treat New Year's Eve, or destroy my New Year's Eve, I can't wait. Why don't you show up on Easter and burn my apartment down? So it's a great empowering moment for Sandra Bullock. And randomly in one of these rom-coms, rom-coms are all about, like the girl falls in love, or the girl has a thing and the guy's thing, and it's big, stupid comedy, awkward shit. Mm-hmm. This is one of those rare rom-coms where the woman goes, you know what? Fuck all you motherfuckers. I'm going to handle my business and stop believing rumors and bullshit about me and step the fuck off. And I really appreciated that. So it's one of those rare things where Sandra Bullock gets to show how tough she is and how steely she is in a rom-com. And so I really enjoy, as opposed to Sarah Jessica Parker and other people in rom-coms. I like Sandra Bullock in a rom-com.
I mean, I think America agrees with you. They like Sandra Bullock in a rom-com as well. As opposed to, I started to search my brain for what Sarah Jessica Parker has done rom-com wise.
Failure to Launch.
Yeah.
That's a rom-com.
Well, I'm just saying.
Even Kate Hudson's rom-coms, which are crap.
Isn't Failure to Launch? That's not Kate Hudson?
No, Kate Hudson isn't that? How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. That's Kate Hudson.
Yeah, but I thought she was Failure to Launch as well. That's also Matthew McConaughey with Terry Bradshaw as his dad or something.
See, I'm retired, man. I don't know.
Well, this one won't be on the senior slice. They're not going to do rom-coms unless
she did one, Honeymoon in Vegas. That's kind of a rom-com.
Yes, it is 100%.
Right? Miami Rhapsody, a little bit of a rom-com.
I don't remember that one.
Till There Was You, rom-com.
Exactly, something no one saw.
Dudley Do Right, essentially. Yeah, Failure to Launch. She was the one in Failure to Launch. Yes.
Who else was in Failure to Launch?
Matthew McConaughey.
And Kate Hudson.
Kathy Bates. Terry Bradshaw. Zoe Deschanel. Bradley Cooper. There is no Kate Hudson in that movie.
Wow. Why do I
Yeah.
remember? I guess it's just the conflation of
Yeah.
what a
It probably
weird
felt like a
pairing.
Kate Hudson movie. Like Kate Hudson would totally be in this movie. Maybe they couldn't get her and they had to get Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah.
Right? Because Kate, this is around 2003. So Kate's doing Alex and Emma. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days is the same year as this one. And The Divorce, then You, Me, and Dupree. Ooh, and then Bride Wars. Ooh, then anti-feminist movie. Yeah. So there you go. Yeah. All right. Just like I said. Great stuff from Sandra Bullock.
All right.
She had a hell of a run. All right. So then my number 9 then is About Time, which is another rom-com.
Okay.
Yeah, the British one. And I like this New Year's Eve scene because it is Domhnall Gleeson repeating this New Year's Eve party scene, because he's meeting Rachel McAdams for the first time and he really wants to win her over and and like kind of win her heart. And so he keeps going back into the closet to go backwards in time and repeat the scene. So it's very cute and it's very funny because he keeps fucking up the scene in different ways. So it's almost like a mini Groundhog Day sequence rather, that is done as a montage. And so I really enjoy it. And it's very sweet. And he's great. And Rachel's great. And the awkward, funny, comedic, uncomfortable moments that he elicits with some of the stuff he says and the different places he goes and the lies he comes up with, I think are really funny. So
Okay.
I think it's a damn good scene, a very sweet scene. And I know you haven't seen the movie, so I'm just going to put it out there that it's
I have not. I can describe the poster to you. I remember seeing that.
I bet Catherine's seen it. She's probably seen it, right? If it's a British rom-com movie, is there
maybe
odds-on favorite? You know,
if it was a TV show, I would agree 100%.
Oh, right.
It's movie that maybe.
Okay, all right. So then my number 8, and it's only because it's not a good movie, but I like the scene in the movie, is Ghostbusters 2. Is that higher up on you? Yeah, I figured it was higher on your list. It's a crap movie, man, but all right. What's your 7?
I mean, crap is strong.
I apologize. You're right. It's not crap is a bit strong. It's not that good of a movie, is what I'll say. All right, what's your 7?
7 is Poseidon Adventure.
Oh, that's slight punt.
Okay.
What's your 6?
My 6 is Snowpiercer.
Ooh, yeah. Go ahead, man. I had to cut that one.
Well, it's a great juxtaposition of how some of that train, how some of society exists versus as the people are walking through and they're just in the midst of all this madness of these people celebrating, having a good time and enjoying their lives.
Yeah.
And almost unbeknownst to them, what the vast majority of the people on this train, or, also known as society, are experiencing and going through, and just that tremendous, black and white between the two.
Yeah.
You see the polarity of two vastly different worldviews. I don't know. I just think it was beautifully illustrative as to the casts that are existing on this train overall. And it's an easy way to show the dysfunction within society.
Yeah.
And that movie does it over and over and over again in very easily digestible ways that I think anybody can understand the metaphor or the analogy it's trying to make at any given time.
Yeah.
And I understand why it wasn't a bigger hit. It's also a tough pill to swallow. Just the overall discussion and, climate change and the largesse of certain individuals and how that has a cascading effect on others and so on and so forth. Plus also it's from a Korean director and, the biggest Spangable star is Chris Evans, but they have gotten a TV show out of it.
Well, and Bong Joon-ho ended up winning Best Director.
Exactly.
And Best
Moves
Picture
on
just a couple years later, or a few years later. Yeah.
So. Now, if you put that out, I think it potentially could be an Oscar discussion that year.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Whereas at the time, I think people listening to this obviously know about it,
right,
and have more than likely seen it. But if I said Snowpiercer, if that TV show didn't exist, and I just said Snowpiercer to the average person, they wouldn't have the slightest clue.
Yeah.
Having never heard of the movie, but yeah, it's just a beautiful piece of storytelling. So I chose it for that.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you 100%. That's damn good. scene in that movie. And, once again, the word unsettling comes to mind, because it's showing you, as you mentioned here, this the different spots that everybody is in, even within something like a train, and the class structure there and all the madness involved in it for sure. All right. So that was your 6.
That was my 6.
Okay. So then my number 7 is Ocean's 11.
Oh, the original?
Yeah. Oh, no, either one, because the heist happens on New Year's Eve. So the entire heist is the scene. It's all on New Year's Eve.
In the Clooney?
Yeah.
I thought it happened. There was like a boxing match
on New Year's Eve.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, I'm blanking that out.
Yeah.
Okay.
The heist happens on New Year's Eve.
I knew the original happens on New Year's Eve.
Yes.
I didn't think the follow-up did. Okay, go for it.
They had to adhere to it, man. Come on. Yeah, I mean, what a scene.
Oh, yeah, that masterpiece. We need to stay true to the original. There's so many fans.
Oh, the original is terrible, man. I'm a Sinatra guy, and that original is horrible. Yeah, the way I think this is what you're waiting for in the movie, right? This heist, how's it going to work out? And the many ways that it twists and turns and the genius of it all. And Clooney kind of, you think he's going to get caught up in the situation. You think Andy Garcia's got the best of him, but he's paid off all these people. Brad Pitt doing his thing as Rusty. You think Rusty's, kind of stopping Clooney from being part of the heist. No, it's all factored into the equation. And Bernie and then Matt Damon and all the things that they do to kind of pull off the heist, which is incredible. And by the end, he ends up getting Julia Roberts back in that moment, and when he gets arrested and put in the back of the car, and she knows that he's pulled off the heist. It's incredible. And Garcia sitting there with egg all over his face. So I think this is one of the most fantastic sequences in the movie, and it was absolutely what made you realize why they remade this movie and how great of a director Soderbergh is, for God's sake. So that's why I have it on my list. Because also the whole heist is, a bunch of scenes.
Yeah. I mean, we're having fun watching them have fun.
Yes.
Because you can tell that they had a blast making this movie.
Yeah. Oh my God. Didn't they ever?
Yeah. Which is, the original Rat Pack had a lot of fun making their movie as well. It's just the end result wasn't something as pleasurable to anybody outside of them.
Well, if you've got a lead actor who says, I'm only going to do one take.
You're only paying me for one.
Pay me for one take. That's
okay. It's one way to look at it, Frank.
All right, Frankie. All right, Chairman. All right, so then my number 6 is a classic from the 50s, An American in Paris.
Okay.
Yeah, that New Year's Eve scene is one of my favorite scenes in any musical, in any classic film, because it is near the end of the movie. It is when Jerry has realized that he's going to lose Leslie Caron's character, and he sees her there with his French friend, who is, of course, 20 years her senior or something like that, or 15 years her senior. So he's just kind of resigned to the fact he doesn't have her. And it's a dress-up party, and he ends up out on the balcony, kind of looking out on Paris with the glass of champagne.
Mm-hmm.
And he sees this picture, and the picture leads him into the 16-minute nonverbal ballet sequence. And then by the end, which is an incredible sequence, if you're a fan of musicals or a fan of dance in any way, shape, or form, this is Gene Kelly at his peak as an artist, that entire sequence. And that film won Best Picture. And it's incredible the way it ends, and the whole all the different dances him and Leslie Caron go through in that whole fantastical sequence. And then by the end, he ends up with her. In the end, they're back at the party. He says, I'm not going to, it's going to always hurt, because she comes up and kind of wakes him up from the dream sequence. And he says, yeah, I know you've got to do what you got to do, but I'm always going to love you, and it's always going to hurt to not be with you, and blah, blah, blah. And then just when she's about to go with the French dude, she looks back, sees Jerry on the balcony, I think, and then realizes who she really loves, and goes and apologizes to the French guy, who is surprisingly magnanimous about the situation, and runs back. So it's a lot that happens on New Year's Eve, but it culminates, the whole film culminates in that whole scene.
Okay.
So yeah, I love that film. I wish they put it out in 4K.
I don't believe I've seen it. I'm 99% sure. I feel like I have, but I feel like I'm lying to myself that I have.
Yeah, maybe you've seen scenes throughout the years.
Yeah, but
I feel like I've seen it. Yeah.
Don't feel like I've watched the whole thing. Okay. Well, it's one of those, who doesn't know An American in Paris?
Right.
The title of it and whatnot, and it feels like I do know it, but I don't think that I watch.
Right. All right. Well, Matt, that's our bottom five. Why don't we take a quick break here? Let's hear from our sponsors, and then we'll jump into our top five, starting with you. All right, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Thank you so much for sticking around with us to jump into our top fives of our top 10 list of New Year's Eve scenes in movies. Matt starts us off. What do you got at number five, brother?
Five, I got Ghostbusters 2.
Oh, there's the punt.
There it is. Just a huge scene.
Yeah.
For New Year's, and the fact that it is New Year's really propels, because they need all the people basically sending good vibes to them, cheering them along to get the Statue of Liberty humming and jamming, baby. You know, if it's not said at New Year's, it doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
So they'd have to completely alter. And I on some level, I think I enjoy that movie as much, if not more, than the original.
What? Oh my God.
Well, for the art historian, that is Vigo's.
Oh, Peter McNichol. Oh yeah, he's great.
I love him.
Yeah.
For the longest time I thought that's how he spoke. Well, I was a kid when I saw it. I didn't know him, and it wasn't
Dragon Slayer. You didn't see Dragon Slayer before.
No.
Okay, all right.
And they just see, they pop up on other things afterwards and be like, "Oh my God, that dude doesn't have that tremendously dramatic accent from a made-up Eastern European country."
But imagine him doing that accent in Veep as the character he plays in Veep. That would be brilliant.
He becomes one of my favorites on Veep. Just such a nasty, and the fact that he has all the senior votes in the the Northeast, in like Connecticut or Vermont or whatever, he just controls the senior vote.
When he dresses down Jonah every time, it's just joy.
Every time,
just utter joy.
But yeah, I mean, so it's the boundless hope of what New Year's represents to all of us.
Right.
And it's also like the way New York is sometimes portrayed of this huge, diverse city, but also if anybody can do it, New York can fucking do it.
Right.
So all of them like cheering along and singing and whatnot. And once again, the good vibes that they put out that turns the slime from something that could be evil to, as long as you impart goodness, it can do other things. And they've got a good song going, and then the Statue of Liberty comes in and karate chops the top of the museum, and it's a good time, man. It's a good time. The music comes in, and Vigo is not happy with he's just trying to transfer his consciousness onto that baby.
Yeah.
It's a solid New Year's Eve scene.
Here's a trivia question for you. What's the name of the song that they're singing?
That's what? Put a Little Love in Your Heart?
No.
Hold on. Give me a second.
Okay.
I've got it on a list for Settle the Score. I know that.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Our pop song list now is 25 pages long.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. Now, Rip City is not it. No, there's a song in there called Rip City.
Yes.
Well, it's not Take Control or whatever that gotta take control. Gotta
that's
take
the
control.
Bobby
That's
Brown
the
one?
song. Yeah, that's the song of the lead single of it.
Yeah.
It is. Oh no, it's Your Love is lifting me higher. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it took me a second.
Yeah. That was the Jackie Wilson. But Howard Huntsberry did the song for the film, and he did Jackie Wilson in La Bamba. That was him imitating Jackie Wilson, so they brought him in to do the song. But yeah, Your Love is Lifting Me Higher from Jackie Wilson, which is a great fucking song. So yeah, that's the thing I remember, that song, and then that stuff with the Statue of Liberty at the end, which I thought was, I mean, I liked it. Did I like the movie itself overall? No, I thought it was kind of weak, but the reasons for why things were happening. But there are funny scenes. I mean, that court sequence is hilarious. The stuff with Peter McNichol, as you mentioned, absolutely. And then this New Year's Eve moment here with the Statue of Liberty is great. So those are the three things that I do remember enjoying about the movie. But overall, not one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right. So my number 5 is the punt from earlier for you, the Poseidon Adventure.
Okay.
Yeah, this is one, definitely the original, by the way, not that incredible remake. This is one of my favorite films, bar none, from the 70s. And the whole New Year's Eve sequence is just when the ship capsizes. So the whole the whole foundation of the movie is the New Year's Eve scene when the waves hit, and it just the sequence. I'm seeing that dude fall all the way down into the glass, seeing the Christmas tree, and the ramifications of everything that happens as the ship is being overturned. And then as the people who have survived this initial wave that has capsized the ship start to figure out that they have to go to the bottom of the ship by climbing up. All of that, how they figure it all out, just incredible stuff, man. And just one of those terrifying sequences in a disaster film that is so well done, and kind of cements this film as one of the best disaster films ever.
Easily.
Yeah.
And as you said, the original is what you should go back and watch if you've never seen it. It more than holds up. Gene Hackman is fantastic, but the ensemble cast of the other survivors around him are excellent, and the stories that they have throughout as certain things befall certain characters really has impact.
I mean, and you get to know the characters that you're going to like follow through the whole sequence in the back half of the movie after the wave capsizes, with the Ernest Borgnine and Shelley Winters and Red Buttons and all them. And this is back when Leslie Nielsen was still doing serious shit. So he's like the ship's captain. But yeah, you just the sound of all the shit falling apart, the dishes crashing, the tables, all of it, and the screams of everybody. These are older people possibly doing stunts here, Matt, that I thought were really well done.
Well, I mean, it's an older cast.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
I mean, considering Gene Hackman is your young lead, and he's probably what, 40?
Yeah. Well, also the desperation, right? I mean, they're hanging on to those tables that are on the ceiling. So it's like, the what your terror would be like in desperate moments like that. You're just holding on to whatever to survive. So just great stuff.
Yeah, and then it's an exploration of faith from Gene Hackman, who's kind of a lost priest. The God helps those that help themselves, and then he's been cast aside by the church because they don't believe that is a correct interpretation. It's the original is excellent. I wouldn't watch anything else personally.
Agreed. Okay, what's your 4, man?
My 4 is The Shining.
Oh shit! Fuck me. All right, go ahead.
The tiniest of scenes.
Yeah, it
technically,
is, but it's still a good fucking scene.
It is. Well, it just cements the entire movie. You see that picture, and you're like, "Oh, son of what's going on here? Has he always been here? Did he just get consumed or subsumed into the hotel itself? Like, what is going on with this?" And black. Oh, it's a great capper to a movie that. Who doesn't love The Shining if you love movies?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my choice. I don't know what exactly to say about The Shining that we haven't said about Shining.
It's an awesome sequence, though, when you go and see that. I saw a bunch of people being smartasses on Twitter on New Year's Eve, putting that picture up of Jack in there and in the Happy New Year's Eve stuff. But yeah, it's an incredible scene for sure. That's just kind of cements the horror of all of it even more. And makes you like in your head, you're like, so how is this possible? Like, what is this all about? And they never answer it. Which makes
in Kubrickian fashion.
Yeah. True. Very true.
He's answered it for himself, and you can figure out your own.
Exactly. Oh, insane. So, all right. So that's your 4?
Correct.
Okay. So then my 4 is Boogie Nights.
That's a punt.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Go ahead. What's your 3?
3, I'm sure, is a punt. When Harry Met Sally.
That is a punt. Yes.
Okay.
So then my 3 is the punt from Earlier Trading Places.
Okay. 3. All right.
This scene makes me laugh every time. I mean, everything on the train sequence on New Year's Eve is just genius. Just absolute genius. God, I forget the actor's name who plays the asshole in the movie, but also the asshole in the Breakfast Club.
Yeah, he's the principal.
Yeah, it's principal.
Yeah, I don't know his name either. He's the one that I mean,
You get the horns.
but figures out that Dan Aykroyd's terrible blackface isn't
Yes.
real.
Oh my
I can't
God.
believe that was the choice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the 80s, right? I
But
mean,
even
Soul
at the
Man was a fucking
time, for
movie,
Christ's
dude.
sakes, yeah, Soul Man was, but
Oh,
the lead of Soul Man
yeah.
is not Dan Aykroyd.
No, true. It's C. Thomas.
Yeah, C. Thomas Howell.
Yeah.
Um,
I would love to see what Garrett Morris thought when fucking he saw this movie. Fuck that motherfucker. I was like Richard Pryor.
Eddie's in the damn scene.
Yeah, it's true. Eddie's in this.
In the fucking scene. So did he think, oh, this is great?
Oh,
Did he just bite his tongue? Because he's like
totally work.
is what his first movie? It's his first movie. Or was 48
Eddie?
hours? His
No,
first?
this was 48 hours was first. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So his second movie. So maybe
Yeah.
it's just like
I'm not gonna rock the boat.
Yeah, I'm still young. I don't.
Yeah.
Or maybe he thought it was perfectly fine. He thought it was funny. Who knows?
Yeah, but I mean, you're in the world of comedy, is stand-up comedy. I'm sure there's a lot more space in terms of jokes and humor and whatever to get
100%.
to get offended. So
1000%.
Yeah. So
What most people find offensive doesn't even register. Does it?
Comedian, yeah.
Well, you've heard so many jokes that you realize that they're just jokes.
Right.
Just because you're offended at this and you're not offended at the other doesn't mean you're right.
Right.
Necessarily just means you take offense at certain things and not others.
True. Paul Gleason is the actor who plays, but anyway, he's the main asshole in the movie and getting on the train, and then I mean having Eddie do the whole Happy New Year. I mean that's so fucking funny. Then Jamie Lee Curtis coming in her like German outfit and Denholm Elliott wearing the priest stuff. I mean, by the way, I know people love Denholm in the Raiders movies. He is fantastic in this movie. He is great as the butler who ends up helping them get back at Don Amici and Paul Bellamy, I think his name is. Yeah, Ralph Bellamy. Sorry, Ralph Bellamy.
Yeah, Amici's the only one I know.
Yeah, getting back at the what was the name of the brothers? I forget the name.
Let's see, the Duke brothers.
The Duke brothers. That's it. Yes. The Duke
Mortimer and
Winston. Isn't it Mortimer and Winston Duke?
Okay, could be. Mortimer is the one that I remember.
Yeah, Mortimer. Such a great fucking white rich name, Mortimer. Yeah. Oh, Randolph. Yeah, Randolph and Mortimer Duke. My bad. Yeah, Randolph and Mortimer.
Oh well, the most posh is like the Dan Aykroyd's accent early on, like when he's down on his luck, but then he tries to go and win back his girl. And he shows up all sloppy, and they did that weird Ivy League quartet to the girls.
Yes,
you know what I mean. It's like so cringe.
Yeah, it is super cringe.
How is this ever a thing?
Yeah. It's still a thing. I'm sure it's still a thing, which is unsettling.
It's terrible, is what it is.
That's rich whiteness, man. It is weird. It's a weird subculture of the world, man.
I don't understand it in the slightest.
Neither do I. But that whole sequence is very, very funny, and the way it all plays out. And of course, him ended up in the cage with the gorilla, which I think is hilarious, getting sodomized by the gorilla, and that's funny. So yeah, that's why it's one of my favorite. Plus, it's Eddie and it's Dan and Jamie Lee, so all of it just works for me so well. It's a scene I go back and watch multiple times. All right, so then what's your 2?
My deuce is Boogie Nights.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about it. Boogie Nights.
Poor little Bill.
Oh my God.
Poor little Bill.
Yeah. I think this is all one shot, isn't it? It feels like it, Matt, when you're watching it. Following him.
Oh, you mean for William H. Macy when he walks? Yeah. He walks in, sees his wife.
Yeah.
Messing around again.
The great Nina Hartley. Yeah.
Yeah. And then walks into the hallway, and then they put the painting up afterwards.
Right.
In the hallway to basically commemorate here was little Bill. But I mean, the whole sequence, like Don Cheadle's character with the ridiculous get up again because he's still searching for a sense of identity.
Yeah.
And then he takes that off, and it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then the girl, I don't know the actress's name, but she's another porn star. He's like, oh, what do you want to do? And he starts talking about the speaker store and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
But you can see that their bond starts in that moment.
Yeah, that's Melora Walters. Yeah, she's great.
Melora Walters?
Yeah, she was the one in Magnolia who is with John C. Reilly. It's the same actress.
Okay.
Yeah. Great actress. Love her. Yeah.
but it's got numerous pivot points for various characters
Yeah.
where they spin off into different arcs from what transpires on New Year's.
Yeah.
And it just, when this was presented as a topic, it was the second thing I thought of. My number one is my number one because it was the very first thing I thought of.
Yeah.
And this was like, okay, well, then there's the Little Bill scene.
Right.
And then went on from there.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, you're right. So many, this is the end of the joy of this is the Goodfellas moment. It's
the loss of their innocence.
Yeah, this is where we go into the 70s, right? For the Goodfellas, where we go to this is where we go into
the 80s, yeah.
Where porn becomes like just horrific and fucking totally abusive, and you're seeing the change. And Dirk Diggler finally sees like there's so much drugs and violence involved in the porn industry because it kind of plays or preys or relies upon your worser impulses, which is to have this kind of sex and hedonism. It eventually opens the door to more brutal stuff, eventually, and more of a debasement approach to human beings, to women specifically. So, I'm not against porn, but I know when you take it all the way to the nth degree, it opens the doors for more hardcore shit, unfortunately. But it's a very well done sequence, and as you said, Matt, kind of launches these other storylines we're going to follow in the back half of the movie, and the tragedy that follows the back half of the movie. Whereas Goodfellas ends with that kind of, I'm getting, spaghetti sauce, it's ketchup with water.
Yeah, schnook like everybody else.
Yeah, schnook. Yeah, exactly. This one ends with a better, more happier ending for sure.
Yeah, it has a more hopeful as people are trying to salvage the wreckage of the early 80s of their lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so that's my number 2.
That's why I hate licorice. I fucking hate licorice pizza.
Well, don't talk. I still haven't seen it yet.
Sorry.
Sorry.
All right, so where are we at? Number 2. So my number 2 is The Godfather Part 2.
That's my number 1.
That's the prequel. Godfather Part 2, the prequel.
Yeah. The non-prequel prequel?
I think it was very much confirmed by all the evidence I laid out in the Facebook group. It is a prequel. So,
well, considering I no longer use Facebook because Mark Zuckerberg can shove it right up his ass.
Hello.
I don't. And I don't really use Instagram all that much. That company is dead to me.
Wow. Strong words. Okay.
I haven't used Facebook now in over a year.
Wow. Okay. Fair enough.
I mean, I told you about it when like a month into it, and I said, I don't think I'm going to be doing this anymore. And then it just more stories and more stories and more stories kept coming out thereafter. And I was like, I am officially finished. I haven't deactivated my account because there's no point. I don't even know what my login is anymore.
Right.
So I'm glad you laid out whatever argument.
Well, people kept tagging me in these messages, and I finally had to respond. So I responded. But anyway,
I mean, I saw on Twitter. I don't know that I saw any support.
No, I saw quite a few, quite a lot of support. There was quite a lot of support.
Yeah, okay. All right, Trump. A lot of people are saying it. A lot of people are saying it.
Don't you ever call me that. And
a lot
on January
of people.
6th, how dare you?
Yeah, that's true. On January 6th.
Terrible,
are you going to reschedule your press conference about the sequel until the 15th in Arizona or wherever?
Oh yeah, it's because the mainstream media can't cover me correctly. Yeah, that's
it's just
fucking clown. Anyway, Godfather Part 2, New Year's Eve scene. This is the scene. This is the first scene I thought of.
Yeah.
And then my number 1, of course. But this is Michael and Fredo, man. This classic.
Yeah. Your number 1 was literally the third thing I thought of, and it's like, oh, that's easy. That's number 3. And then after that, I had to search.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just the pivotal.
Yeah.
Really shows you what it means to be the head of this world.
Right.
We have to make a decision like this, where I understand Fredo's motivation and I understand Michael's, and all are disgusting.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, like you said, Matt, earlier, like New Year's Eve represents new beginning or a change, right? And so in all the films we've talked about, New Year's Eve represents that, right? And so the scenes are pivotal. So the scenes are pivotal because they represent a change in dynamic of the movie, right? And this is everything from Godfather into Godfather 2 has been leading to this moment where Michael finds out that Fredo betrayed him.
Yeah.
And Michael kisses Fredo. The way Pacino grabs John Cazale's neck with both hands and shoves him in for the kiss and says, "You broke my heart." Like, that's passion. That's family passion. And
Oh, well,
it's the devastation of Michael because he will be betrayed by his family on numerous occasions over the next few decades, for different reasons, because he'll never be his dad. And
exactly. And they'll never accept him fully.
exactly. And his dad's brother would have never betrayed him. His dad's friends, who are essentially his brothers in America when he came over as an immigrant, they never betrayed him. And so there's that kind of thing of there's this power of the betrayal, and it starts the darker path that Michael Corleone is going to walk, the more lonely solo path, as he shuts the door on Kay, as he, kind of insulates himself from the outside world, as he builds this empire, and never finds love again. Never finds. The death of Apollonia was the first half of his heart, and then Fredo betraying him was the other half of his heart that broke, and that was that.
Well, I don't think he can open himself up to that anymore.
No, right, exactly, because the betrayals were so devastating and the losses were so devastating.
Yeah.
For sure, and
as he's holding on to Fredo, and when he tells him, I know it was you, and you can see Cazale trying to pull away.
Yeah. Ooh.
As the character, you can see the strain as Pacino's holding on to him. Oh, it's such you can feel the tension and the emotions that are about to boil over.
Yeah. And the utter fear in Fredo's face is when he finally pulls away and runs out into the night, looking back at Michael, just that kind of thing of like, God, the true fear in his face of what.
Yeah. But he still gets on the plane.
He does. He does eventually. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, all these films with the New Year's Eve scenes signify change in many ways, so this is no different. This is such an extreme change for sure. All right. So that was your number one.
Yep.
Okay. And my number two. So then my number one, of course, When Harry Met Sally, the punt from earlier. I mean, this is one of the first two things I think of when I think about New Year's Eve scenes, because they have all those conversations about New Year's Eve all the time. New Year's Eve in the movie, there are multiple ones that signify, a new stage in their relationship or a new stage in their friendship. And this is the one where he runs, and he's walking, and you're hearing Sinatra sing his later in life version of It Had to Be You, which is a fucking awesome version. And Harry finally realizes it's her. It's always been her. It's got to be her. I got to go get her. And runs through the streets, which is great, and runs up there, and she's about to celebrate. She initially rejects him, and then he delivers a fucking awesome speech. And it's just great. So I begin with a rom-com at my number 10, and I end with a rom-com. Because I just enjoy those when they're done well, and the New Year's Eve scene in this one is just fucking stellar, dude.
It's an excellent New Year's Eve scene, and it's one of those times where it's a rom-com, so there's going to be certain emotional manipulations.
Yeah,
you're perfectly content with it.
Yeah,
it's great. You guys do it flawlessly. That's what I'm here for. Congratulations.
You did it. You did it.
You did it. You did it. You like nail on the head. It's when it's done, sloppily, where you're like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But the same can be said of any genre.
True. But one of the greatest scenes in films ever. I mean, just her look at him and throughout as he's delivering, and then she just kind of melts and says, "I hate you, Harry. I hate you." And
that last hate is not hate. It's it's her way of saying I love you without having to say I love you.
Yeah, it's fucking great. All right, well, there you go. There's our top 10 New Year's Eve scenes in movies. We're going to put this thing together so we can give you our official the top 10 list of the New Year's Eve scenes in movies. I'm going to grab the bongos, Matt, which I think I put back in the closet. I'll be right back.
All right. So I think Godfather 2, and then When Harry Met Sally, probably followed by Boogie Nights. That is my guess. See you back.
All right.
So
move the microphone here so I can do this. All right. What do we got?
I would imagine it goes Godfather 2, When Harry Met Sally, and then Boogie Nights.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
All right. So I have Trading Places at 3. Where do you have that at?
I have Trading Places at 8.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then I have Ghostbusters at 5, and you have that at what, 9?
8.
8.
Poseidon Adventure? Where do you have that?
7.
That's my 5. Should that go up there now?
I would imagine.
Or what do you have?
Would trading places you had at 3?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would say trading places next.
Oh, okay. 3-8. Okay.
3-8 beats a 5-7 or a 5-8.
Okay.
So that, then maybe Poseidon,
Okay.
and then Ghostbusters 2.
Okay.
And that makes 1 through 6. And I don't think we have anything else in common.
No, I don't think so either.
So I have my number 4, The Shining.
Okay. That goes on there.
My next highest is my number 6.
Same here. An American in Paris.
I have Snowpiercer.
How dare you? It's not even a choice. How dare you?
Once again,
Oh,
fairly
the
certain.
sacrilege that you would flip. Oh,
Fairly certain that I haven't seen it.
a Best Picture winner over Snowpiercer.
Yeah, okay. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Horrific what you're doing right now.
How green was my valley? Crash.
How green was it?
Do you want regular quarter or do you want Batman, Spider-Man? Or not Spider-Man, pardon me, Superman.
Let's do Batman, Superman. Why not? It's a weighted coin. I can complain if I don't get it.
Yes. You won last time, so apparently it's weighted in your favor. We'll see if it happens again.
I don't recall it.
Yep, this time you lose, my friend.
Son of a
this time
bitch.
you lose.
All right, fine.
Snowpiercer and
Horrific.
American in Paris.
All right, what we got left?
I have my number 9.
I have my 7. Ocean's
Okay.
11.
Ocean's 11 it is.
Is that 10?
That is 10.
Well, boom. All right, here we go. The top 10 New Year's Eve scenes in movies. Yeah. At number 10.
Ocean's 11.
At number 9.
An American in Paris.
At number 8.
Snowpiercer.
At number 7.
The Shining.
At number 6.
Ghostbusters 2.
At number 5.
The Poseidon Adventure.
At number 4.
Trading Places.
At number 3.
Boogie Nights.
At number 2.
When Harry Met Sally.
And our number 1 New Year's Eve scene in a movie is
The Godfather Part 2.
I know it was you, Fredo. I know it was you. All right, there you go. Thank you all so much for watching or listening to us counting down the top 10, another top 10 list here on the Top 10 Show. We appreciate it madly, Matt, don't we?
That we do, and I've got Drew Ensz list.
Yeah, we got Drew. What do you got?
So he sent in 2 lists. Okay, here's something. Might have screwed up.
Okay.
He says on his first list, there's anyway, sends in the second list and says, The Shining is a 4th of July party, not New Year's Eve.
Ooh. Uh-oh.
Is that true?
I don't know. Don't we see him in the picture with New Year's Eve?
Yeah. I thought it was New Year's Eve, not 4th of July, but hold on.
Yeah.
Looking up now. July 4th ball, 1921, Overlook Hotel.
Wow.
Well, I have to take that off my list.
Uh-oh.
Well,
We
off
change
the we can take it off the official list then, so it's no longer number 7. We can just bump everything up.
Okay.
What do you got left? I
Um.
still have my 9.
Yeah, my 9 as well. About time, because Ghostbusters 2 is my 8. We put that up already.
I have The Apartment.
All right, here we go.
Flipping a coin. Call it in the air. The other one's across the room.
Okay. All right.
3, 2, 1, go.
Heads. Come on.
About time it is.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. Officially.
At number 10.
About time.
There we go.
I can't believe. Yeah, I just thought of the picture in my head and was like, "That's definitely New Year's."
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. They're all wearing black ties. I guess I don't associate black tie with 4th of July, but
Yeah, that seems weird.
yeah, different time, I guess. Anyway,
Yes. Yeah.
all right. So at 10, he's got Bridget Jones's Diary.
Okay, nice choice. Yeah.
Begins New Year's Day and ends with
Yeah.
picking Darcy on New Year's Eve.
Okay.
9 is About a Boy.
Oh yes, a good scene for sure.
It just wasn't as, I guess, pivotal. That's why I didn't put it on mine.
Same.
Change and Need to Grow for Will as he meets Rachel. At 8, he's got Ocean's 11. The
Yeah.
entire heist happens on New Year's Eve. It's a lot of fun, but not a memorable scene, is what he said.
Yeah.
7, Ghostbusters 2. Not my favorite movie, but seeing the Statue of Liberty go through the streets is definitely a memorable scene.
Agreed.
6, Boogie Nights. William H. Macy
Wow,
walking in on
6.
his cheating spouse, and then the brokenness of his face during the scene that sets up the rest of the themes of the movie. Very true. 5, hold on to your hats, sir. When Harry Met Sally.
5.
That scene and speech is classic and gives me the chills. 4, Sleepless in Seattle.
Ooh, that's right.
Yeah.
Where they meet on the roof, I think. Right?
Yeah, I chose 1, Meg Ryan. It's a very sweet ending and truly an homage to older Hollywood classic romantic comedies. 3 is Godfather Part 2. The declaration of Fredo's betrayal in the midst of everything going on around them is so striking. 2 is Sunset Boulevard.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's an uncomfortable film, so I don't go back to it many times. So that's why I didn't put it on my list. But that's a great choice.
He says the realization of her obsession with Joe and the tragedy that is all the movie. Pardon me. That is this movie. All comes into focus on New Year's Eve, and number 1 is the Poseidon Adventure.
Ah, yeah, nice choice.
From joy to tragedy that sets up this natural disaster movie that just sticks with me for a number of reasons. So that is Drew Ensz's list, and he also gave us a correction to ours. I think that's the first time that's ever happened.
How dare you? How dare you?
I'd rather be right than wrong. So thank you, Drew. So there it is. Great suggestion. Okay. We appreciate it, Drew.
Thank you, Drew.
Sorry for the delay.
Thanks for being a patron. Thanks for being a Boss Hog patron. These are the perks that you get when you're at the $50 and above level. You get to choose topics, and we get to count it down and read your list on the show. Those are the perks, which is a lot of fun. We appreciate it.
That we do.
We're doing
to all our patron supporters, our Patreon supporters.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It was 2021 was a hell of a year. So having you guys support us throughout meant the world. And if you'd like to join in, you can go to patreon.com/the top 10 with the number 10 and join today. We got numerous different tiers, numerous different perks. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Well, that's it from us. Matt, where can they find you?
You can find me anywhere at Matt Knost, and check out my other show, Settle the Score. And if you want some NBA action, dropping dimes.
Nice. And you can follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram. On Twitch, The Outlaw Nation, on TikTok at John The Rocha Says, and my YouTube channel, youtube.com/John Rocha Says, and my other podcast, the Cinephiles and the Geek Buddies, all out there for you to enjoy. And we wish you, from Matt and I, a very happy new year in 2022. We hope you continue listening to the top 10, but more than anything else, we hope you have a better year if you had a tough 2021. And if you had a good 2021, we still wish you have a better year in 2022 and enjoy the world as much as you can. We love you, and let's keep growing the top 10 this year as we go into our 6th year and I think we're going to cross our 7th year of existence as a podcast. So thank you all so much, and we'll talk to you next time on another brand new episode of the Top 10. Peace.